The Witch of Moon's Lane presents How to Witch, Bitch.
Welcome back to How to Witch, Bitch. Michelle, the Witch of Moon's Lane. All right, now I'm going to start with, we've got some nice little comments, and make sure if you are enjoying this, we'd really love a bit of a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your fabulous podcast. 5 stars as always, really very nice. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, we appreciate
from
that.
Belinda from Adelaide.
Oh,
Adelaide, yeah, City of Churches. Don't know if that's it. I think it is.
Sounds posh.
Thanks. She sent a message saying, there's actually one from Ray who said, absolutely love you two beautiful ladies doing this. Thank you so much.
Ray.
Thank you very much, Ray. Also, Belinda from Adelaide. Always find it interesting when you explain how witchcraft ties into modern traditions. Now, that's when we've talked about birthday candles, making a wish.
Yep.
What other things was there as well?
Astrology is the biggest one. And even numerology, looking at numbers and the weight that the numbers have. We all have a life path.
Yep.
And that sort of around our birthday. So it's kind of like it's everything is written in the stars. We come from DNA, everything's written in our stars. But that's also back of what we, knew, because back in before everything was around, that's how we could tell time. That's how we could sort of look up. I mean, it's funny because men couldn't work out how women knew how to do time. Well, we did time because every 28 days our friends came, right?
Yeah,
so that
not
was
friends, yes. Not at all.
No, they're not friends.
Yeah, but that's actually...
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't know if yours is green is a problem. You need to get that shit looked at.
Good in this mono.
There's a shell as well.
Well, isn't there one called Raphael and Michael? Hey, they're angels.
They're not.
Oh my God, they are too. Aren't they? Are they called Raphael and Michael?
Raphael and Michelangelo. Oh, okay.
Oh, they're angels and painters. I don't know.
How have we even... Anyway.
I can't get my shit together now.
No, you cannot. Because you got green shit going on, that's why. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Pull it together.
So, honey, keep it together.
How
Keep
to
it
witch
together.
bitch.
Keep it together.
How to witch bitch.
Keep it together.
All right. Right, so Belinda from Adelaide, City of Churches. She said about how the witchcraft, it ties into modern traditions. Is there anything witchy about Easter?
Oh, there's lots of things that are witchy about Easter.
Yes.
So it started off with the pagans worshipping a goddess who had a bunny. So that's where the bunny came in.
Okay.
So that was her. And the egg is really traditional in the fact of rebirth. So it just means rebirth. Because a lot of people go, how do you get Easter bunnies and why the hell are we eating eggs? And so that's sort of the pagan tradition. Of course, that has nothing to do with the Christianity, which then goes on to the death of Christ and all that sort of stuff. So that's where, kind of east meets west. So it's kind of like where Christianity meets paganism. So that's where that all came from.
Yes.
It's a chocolate bunny.
Well, we can touch on that a little bit closer to Easter as well. There are so many different things, of course, that we can talk about today. Talking about superstitions, different things like that. It feels very much like why do witches only wear black?
Okay, so black is really just...
It's a laundry thing. Slimming.
Well, it's just the fact that black is about protection. So we're just protecting ourselves. So we're protecting ourselves from evil eye. We're protecting ourselves from all that. Funny enough about that is why do you think a bride wears white?
Because she's supposed to be pure.
No.
Why?
It's
protecting her?
Well, yeah. Well, the white is so that people know that she's the bride. So, yes, it is meant to be purity. They want to look at that as well. But or angelic.
Yeah.
But traditionally, all the bridesmaids should be wearing white too.
Well,
so
I know this one.
So, you'd know that being...
Yes, so they would all wear the same in case one of the brides got killed or was kidnapped. Then they could step in for the bride. Is that right?
Really? I didn't know that. You're shitting me. What about if he doesn't want to marry her? What if she's a dog?
Get out of line.
shit out of luck.
That's why they wear the same thing.
So he could pay someone to take the bride out
Take
because
the
he
bride
likes
out,
the
and then they
bridesmaid.
all and then he also has to stand on the left, I do believe it is, because that's where he would draw his sword if anyone. So the groom always stands on the left, right? Yes.
Right, yeah.
So he would draw his sword.
No, he doesn't. He stands on the right.
No, he doesn't. Looking from the celebrant
Oh,
on the left.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm talking about when you're standing there.
But it would be to confuse, so all the girls were dressed the same. So it would be to confuse anyone who was coming to go and take the bride.
Well, that's right, but it actually comes from pagan,
Okay.
which is basically so that the bad gods didn't come down and kill the bride because he was confused as to which one to kill or which one to curse or which one to make a bad day.
Well, that makes sense too.
Yeah. Well,
Chicks have always had it tough, haven't they?
well, I'm just thinking that sounds more humane than take your bride out. Okay, I'll just step on it.
I don't actually know if that's true. I just
That's
made that
really
up.
funny.
No.
Barbara, you're such a bitch. Don't worry, wait till your wedding day. I'm going to steal your husband. Oh, Babs.
Oh, Babs, you stupid bitch. Oh, no.
Oh, God. I'm
Okay,
just keep
so
it together. That's so funny.
Wearing black is not a laundry thing, it's a protection thing. Why always the black hat, the pointy hat? Why do we always think of witches with that?
Okay, well, the thing is that's kind of really Hollywood, really.
Yeah.
But it does have a stem of protection. So it's interesting, you see the cones. As you said, you sent me that thing and said, are you out today? And you had all the cones lined out, the traffic cones.
I sent her an image of the witches' hats, as in what you would actually have, and there were 5 in a row. And I said, is this your coven?
It was like we've all been squashed. Yeah. But so if you want to look at the point, so you're pointing up to spirit. So that's what it is. You're connecting in with spirit. So that's why the pointy hat.
Okay.
So that's where that sort of comes in from. But the black is definitely for protection.
Yeah.
I always go around saying it just means because I'm ready for a funeral.
Yeah.
I'm ready for your funeral.
Oh,
so
nice.
whatever. Keep it together. Obviously, I'm stepping in for Babs.
It's been taken out.
Babs been taken out.
Oh,
I'm ready for
dear.
your funeral and to step up to be a bride.
What other superstitions come from paganism and comes from witchcraft?
Yeah. Well, the interesting one is the salt over the shoulder. So that's for good luck, and it's always over on the left. So interesting about when I do readings, I always do the left. If I see people on the left, it's coming in from the mother energy. If I see people coming in on the right, it's coming from the father energy.
Okay.
So that's kind of like left is always sort of like associated with the heart. And the right is always associated with logic. That's kind of where that is. I guess we've got left and right brains as well. But for me, energy, left is sort of more the feminine and the right is more the masculine. But yeah, that's when I'm doing that. You can feel the energy. Again, it goes back to energy. So the salt over the left shoulder is more of the feminine thing. When you're in the kitchen and you're cooking, you throw it over your left shoulder for good luck. You're blessing your family. Do you ever see those ones that go around and go...
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to ask you because I wanted you to enlighten me with another made-up story because I like your story. I like your style.
They were spitting on people because
They were
had
camels in their last life?
Camels, yes.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. There were camels in their last life. They came through too quickly.
Yeah, and they now spit.
But maybe it's an energy thing. I mean, if you're out there, maybe you can actually write in and let us know. But to me, I think it's more of an energy thing. Like I don't think it's like I spit on you like it would be in here. I think it means something else.
Does it? Maybe someone can actually help us with that.
I think that's right.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
God, we've travelled many, many interesting paths today, have we not?
We have up and down.
All the hubs.
It's that time of the month.
It is. Well, actually, no. Back to weddings as well. There's a lot of. What's a witch wedding like, or what's a pagan wedding like?
Well, it's funny is why do you think they say tying the knot?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's called hand fasting.
Yes.
So what they do is the high priestess or the priest
Celebrant.
would tie, or the celebrant, if he's, would tie your hands in red because red is love. And so that's what it is. You're tying the knot. So that's where that tradition comes from. So that is pagan, yes.
And what about throwing the flowers over your shoulder for the bridesmaid?
Well, that's basically...
Who's next?
Yeah, who's next? That's the thing. But it's also about, well, this is, I've had my turn now.
I've had my love. Now it's your turn as well.
Somebody else,
Yeah.
But it's also a protection thing because it's usually thrown over the left shoulder.
Yes.
So again, it's going over for the love and the feminine,
Yeah. I love that.
But
That's
flowers
nice.
also have different, like, why do we have a rose and no rose is for love? And then we go for colours like red is for love, yellow is for friendship, pink is for, what is pink for?
I don't know.
I think it's for self-love, isn't it?
Is it?
For the
well,
pink,
I guess if you go back to the rose quartz, it would be because it's pink.
So flowers have the same energy. So I do read flowers as well. So I've done shows where I'm sitting there and people just come with a flower and they'll be sitting there and I'll have some flowers. I'll pick a flower up and I'll just read the energy of the flower and it would have been the person that picked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess when you think about it though, like certain smells and things like that, so people always talk about getting not a vision, but like having that smell wafted and there's no one there, but it's the smell of something that reminds them of roses or something like that. I used to, after my mum passed when I was younger, I actually used to always get a smell of a bougainvillea and I'd have a vision of a bougainvillea. Funny thing is bougainvilleas don't have a smell, but I'd created it in my mind that was mum coming through and giving me that gift of a flower. And I think that's a really common thing for a lot of people is the flowers and the flower turning up.
Yeah, or you smell smoke or something. Yeah. So that goes back to your clairs again, when you do mediumship where, you have your clairaudience, which is to hear, and you have your clairsentience, which is to smell, and then you have the one clairvoyance to see. And, so some people have the knowing fact that I know that's going to work, and some people don't. Some people just, I've got a gut feeling on that, which is the intuition coming in as well. But with the flowers, though, I do feel that, again, it's back to energy. So your energy has been put into that flower and you've chosen that flower for a reason. So even now, all flowers are known for certain things to give, like carnations. You always give it to friends. Like where does all that come from?
Yeah.
So it comes back from back in the day as well. So energy never leaves. So that's kind of like when you go into the next life, energy can't be destroyed. So if energy can't be destroyed, where does it go?
Yeah.
It just takes on another form. So that's often when you get back into the reincarnation, get to the other side and say, I have a choice. I can either come back and finish off the lessons that I maybe couldn't learn in this lifetime, and maybe you come back as a turtle.
Maybe you do. Maybe a horse splinter. The rat.
The rat,
yes.
But the thing is, that's what it is. You have a choice of how do I best finish my life. So everyone here is different. We've all got different lessons that we need to learn. But I think that if you really look at the fact that everything is energy and it's like everything that you put out, you definitely get back in. And I think that's the whole thing. If that's the law, isn't it?
You can feel that with people. You can feel, like we were talking, I'm not sure if we were talking about it in this episode or one of the other episodes that we've done, you can feel an energy when you walk in the room. You can, if you've been spoken about and then you walk in the room and you can, and it's not the psychic factor of knowing that someone's been talking about you. It's the energy of the people within the room.
That's right.
And them now looking at you and you go, okay, you've just been talking about me in negative or positive or whatever it was.
Yeah.
When you meet someone instantly, they say you fall in love within 5 seconds. Or,
That's true.
You fall in love at first sight. That's your energies colliding. That's the energy of those moments. And where you just go, oh, I do not like that person for some reason.
But often I think that you need to look at yourself for that because what are they representing in you not to like? I mean, some people come in and they're actually perfectly nice, but you think they're...
Nah, most of the time I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times I've gone, nah. And then about 5 weeks later I go, told you. Oh. No. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Sorry, back to you.
But, I mean, you can look at people that come in that do try you and test you and say, what is it that I need to learn from this? Because everything is a learning. So I always believe I'm a teacher, but I'm also a student. And so as much as I know, I'm also constantly learning as well. And I think the minute or the day that you stop learning and being curious is the day that you can just pack your bags up and go off to, the next land. As the pagans say, as is above as below. So as above as below. So be a nice person as above so that when you are below, you can basically come through and say, right, am I coming back to this place? Am I going to the next energy level? That's what I was saying about energies, depending on where people are when they pass in on the other side as to what type of energy they are. So if you decide that, you've been good, you've learned a lot of lessons, it's not a case of, just because you've been really great in this life, you go to the top. It means what are the lessons that you've learned? So it's kind of like this is a playing ground, this is school, this is a meat suit that we put on as we actually do learn. So nobody's better than anybody else. And I've always say, people say, oh, well, what about, say, a serial killer? And I'll say, yeah, but the thing is that their brain or what happened to them coming through, they were born like that. I'm not talking about the ones that are made like that because they have choices, because I think you choose to be angry, you choose to be happy. You get up in the morning, you choose what you want to be. Those types of people, it's like they came through, and it's almost like they can't help what they're doing in some sort of cases. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I guess when they get to the other side, I mean, they're held accountable on this earth. Yeah. But when they do go up, are they held accountable for? Are they really that type of person, or were they sort of, coming down with a what would you call it? I guess they're not working, so it's almost like a computer that's not completely working.
Yeah. That's another thing we should touch on some of the another podcast as well, is the past lives. I think that would be really interesting for people. I always find it interesting with past lives how it's, you're never really boring. You never it's always like you had to be some amazing, scientist, or you're an actress, or you're a pirate, or you were this or that.
Well, I don't know.
No one was ever just a really boring toilet cleaner.
Well, in my industry, I've met quite a few Cleopatras, so I'm just trying to think
how?
Which one's the real deal.
That's the thing.
And then I'll go back to the fact of some people have got mental health.
Right, yeah, okay.
I'll never forget when I started, this is a funny story. So I went to one of the big psychic shows, and they were right, but they were talking about levels, and the levels are talking about sort of what they've learnt through the ages and where they're at. And I'll never forget, but I found it quite funny because one of the psychics came in and said, oh, my God, she said, you're on a level 9. And I was like, I am? And she goes, I said, what level are you on? Oh, I'm on a level 20. And I said, how many levels are there? Oh, there's 20. Right. Okay, so I've got a bit of work to do. And then I went off to another one said to me, oh, you're on a level, you look like to me you're on a level 11. I'm going, oh.
Wow, you've gone up too.
I've gone up. I said, what level... You, I'm on 30. How many levels are there? Oh, there's 30. Then I'd go to another one and they'd say, oh, you look like you're on a level 15. I'm thinking, Jesus, at least I'm getting smarter as I'm going. And then they were a level 40. There's only 40 levels. And I'm just walking around going, hey, there's some mental health going on here.
You would encounter that a lot. And I guess do. That's what some people do think about.
Well, it's interesting because I've had people come in for readings and I've just looked at them and said, there's something wrong here. And one of them, I just said, you need to go to a hospital immediately. And they actually were having a brain bleed at the very time. And, they said, I saved them. That actually happened to my husband too. Saved him with a brain bleed. So there's also a couple of others that have come in and they've gone and got mental health and they're in a great spot. So, you do, being psychic, it's a bit like psychology. So I've done a bit of psychology as well, is you can recognise that they're not quite what they should be at the time.
Energy is completely
the energy is erratic. The facial twitches are going, and you can tell. So you can sit here and I just say, look, I've got to stop the reading now. I think there's something serious going on with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do they react to that?
Well, they're surprised.
Yeah.
And
But they're coming to you for guidance. They obviously know something's wrong anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
We have covered so many interesting topics.
Oh, gosh, look, that's it. I mean, there's just like every episode we just keep talking.
And
I think the more that people
Did you get told at school that you were never quiet in class? Like on your report card, did they always say she'd be great if she could stop talking in class?
No, that's you.
That's you as well. I bet you that was you.
I was never in class. I was always outside class.
What,
hopping on one foot.
What do you mean?
Okay, so...
Oh, my God.
So my science class, Mr. Goodwin, oh, God, if he's still around, God rest his soul. I don't think... He always used to say, We all know who's going to come last because I was the same as you. Used to chat and I'd turn the Bunsen burners on and I'd put a lighter and go, whoosh, and go, whoa, look at that. I was a naughty little girl. And so I was always outside. And for some reason...
you got in trouble. So
I'd get in trouble. And for some reason, you'd always give me a rock and tell me to jump on one foot outside. So, and it's right in the playground. People would come past and I go, I know he's trying to make a mockery of me so that I don't do this. So I'd defy him even more. And so then he would say it again and I'd be outside and I was like, I'm going to care. I'm going to keep hopping on this foot. I'm going to keep hopping on these bloody rocks. I don't care. I don't care. And then he goes to me, you've missed so many, you can't, there's no way that you're going to be able to pass. And I went, really? So I just went and got my girlfriend's book, but he photocopied everything, studied like a crazy and came in number 1.
With one really strong leg.
I was thinking of him when I made this.
She's holding up
leg.
the fuck off spray. I think I say thank you, Michelle. Yeah. I think I say thank you.
Well, we all know that
we're sorry.
Well, we know that it's lucky you and I weren't going to school. Because you'd be hopping with me.
No, I was actually a very good student, thank you. I didn't discover my voice until I finished school.
Oh, really?
And now I've just been really loud ever since. Thank you, Michelle. Leave a review.
Even if you just want to say they're Jats crackers, but make sure it's a 5-star review because we like to do things well.
We do.
Woodwork Podcasts.